Hey guys, it's Lolo with Grateful Gratitude, and just a reminder of who I am. I am a certified coach practitioner that emphasizes gratitude and making everyone kind of see the great things that we have and not focus on the negative. And so I have brought today a really great friend. This is Jeannene Martin, and she is a financial coach. And the reason that I wanted Jeannene here today to visit with me is because I have heard her speak several times, and even at 55 years of age, I learned something and I implement something new that she teaches. So also the other thing is she keeps it very, very simple. So I don't have to know all those big financial words. So Jeannene, so great to have you here. Would you maybe just kind of tell me what is the simplest, quickest thing that someone can do to kind of change a financial situation?
Okay, I think the simplest, easiest thing is to start a budget. And that is a word that scares people, and that is a word that people want to stay away from. They never want to budget.
Mm-hmm.
But it really is telling your money what you want it to do.
Yeah.
And if you don't tell your money what you want it to do, it's going to do whatever it decides to do or whatever you do with it in that moment. So making a plan is really important. And I think that is important for everybody, but for single moms, I think that's especially important. And I think it has to be not a pie in the sky, but a budget that you sit down and you go through your checks and you say, this is what's coming in and this is what's going out, and decide what's left over at the end of the month.
And you know, I think the biggest problem I have is that lost money. That money that I don't realize I'm spending, so I'm not counting it in my budget. I know I have to personally take $40 cash out of the bank on Monday, and that's my spending money for the week. And I know it's a small amount maybe for some, but it's manageable for me, and I can use it for networking, or if I want to treat myself to fancy coffee or something. And when the money's gone, it's gone. And if I still have it at the end of the week, then that's great. I don't have to grab 40 the next week. It's just very simple and works for me.
Oh, and I think that's the best way to budget. The envelope system is a great system. You can do that at the beginning. Once you get paid, you put, and I always had a lot of different envelopes, but you pay your tithe, you put that in your envelope. You make an envelope for the rent that you're going to pay, your car payment, or your groceries that you're going to buy. And then when you walk through the grocery store, you have your money with you, and this is all you can spend. You don't put it on a credit card, that's what you can spend. And so it's a great way to do that kind of thing. And for your discretionary money, the discretionary spending that you have, it's perfect. I love that. I do it all the time.
That sounds like it's super easy, and it's pretty clean and concise. You know, okay, my rent money or my mortgage money is here. I don't touch it. Okay, that's awesome.
Right, and you're gonna laugh. I learned this as a kid. My dad taught me this as a little kid, and he was always like, whenever you get money, you need to put some aside to save, and you need to put some aside for your tithe that you pay,
Mm-hmm.
and then you need to put some aside to. You've got long-term spending and short-term spending,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have spending money, and so that's how I started as a kid. So I've kind of always thought to do that. I have a friend who does a budget, and she puts it into a spreadsheet, and every little purchase that she makes, she logs it, and that's just too much time and too much effort. It needs to be easy, because if it's not easy, no one's going to do it.
Right, but that probably works for her, and she's probably one of those well-organized people, so.
Yes, she's an accountant, and she loves the details.
Well, and some people are like that, but I think I was telling you before we started filming that when I was a single mom, I thought it was nice for me to indulge 3 times a week in a Starbucks latte, my special gingerbread one, if it was seasonal. And then I sat down one day and realized, I'm spending $15 a week on a drink that's in and out that maybe I could be making at home. And then when I put pen to paper, it was $780 a year just on lattes. And I had to stop and think, hey, that was 2 car payments for me, that I was.
Right.
So I guess I don't want to say that you probably shouldn't indulge, but I think I lost track on what the indulgences and that lost money, so to speak.
Oh, absolutely. And that's our culture today. It's like, we drive through Starbucks, we get a drink, and if you do that, I'm a huge fan of Dave Ramsey, and he is
great.
Just awesome. And what he says is that if you buy, a drink, 30 times in a month, that's $150 if you spent $5. At $150, if you invested that for 40 years, you're going to be a millionaire. $150 a month, which is not a huge amount, but what could you do with $150? That's a lot of money to me, because I can do a lot of things.
Well, I equate everything now with hearts. How many hearts is that? Hearts are $5. How many hearts is that we could be giving? So that helps my mindset. But all right, so I don't want to sit here and say, take away all your indulgences. How can you squeeze those into a budget, or where can we find that?
You have to prioritize. Prioritizing is key, because we all are different. I can tell you what my priorities are, but that's not going to mean anything to you. And so, having that Starbucks coffee may be really important to you, or having that latte, but it may not. So it kind of is different. And so pick something that you love that's important to you. And having a budget doesn't mean you can't spend. It just means that you plan when you're going to spend it.
That's great, yeah.
And so that has really helped me a lot. And I really like that.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, so do you think that we get in trouble most when we impulse purchase?
Absolutely. Going shopping with one of my sisters is just never a good idea, because she finds all the bargains, and we can, I can come home spending more money than I would ever spend by myself, just because she's great at retail therapy, and she's great at finding the bargains, and I always find stuff I love when I'm with her.
That's awesome.
But it's not good for the budget.
But that's true. But again, I think it takes a while to set a budget and stick to a budget. So it's okay if you try it and you fail, try again. It's not that it has to work the first time.
Absolutely.
It's a lot of trial and error, right?
Oh, there is a lot of trial and error, and you're going to tweak it, and it's going to get better, and you're going to figure out what works to you. Because the first time you sit down, you're going to be like, you need to really put in your bills. But then you're going to think, okay, well, I might be able to spend a little bit here or a little bit there, and then you're going to find out where you run short or where you have extra, and so you can tweak it, and that's a really great thing. And I mean, honestly, you really do need to figure out what your priorities are.
Yeah.
And everybody's in a different place too. I know when my family went through a period of unemployment. We had no employment for 10 months.
Wow.
And so I didn't work at the time. I was a stay-at-home mom, and my husband lost his job. And we had to do some serious cuts. And we cut all of the kids' soccer. Everybody was in soccer. I had 3 children, and they were all in soccer at the time. And that went away. Nobody did sports until my husband was back employed again, and we could afford it.
But it probably also showed your children the importance of pulling together as a family in tough financial times, and probably they got great lessons from that.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. It was a really great time to be able to sit down and talk with them about what was happening and why, and they were very supportive of it, and they still remember it to this day. But I think it was a good lesson for them.
Yeah, and I think something I want to share, when I was a single mom, I didn't get child support, and so there were weeks that we only had, I remember one week I had $37 to spend on groceries. And instead of kind of hiding that from Lexi, I kind of brought her in and said, look, we have $37. I want you to hold the calculator. As I put things in the basket, you add them up for me so that we know when we get to the checkout, we've got, we've stayed within our budget, so to speak. And I don't want anyone to ever feel that because you maybe are in a financially tough place, that you can't kind of share that with your kids, because number one, you'll build together. I would say, don't say, we don't have money for that, we can't afford that, we don't, because that's a negative. If we say, okay, we have this much this week, and we're gonna choose the family thing, we've got $25, what family outing do we wanna do together as a family? It kind of instills a different outlook on the finances instead of a negative. How do you think, because there is a lot of negative focus on finances, because a lot of times we're upside down.
We are, and when you get to that point, I mean, I think you have to have a sense of humor, and you have to, I mean, you have to take what life gives you, and you don't always get to plan for it. I mean, when we lost our job, there was no severance. There was nothing. It was one day we were employed, and the next day we weren't, because the company went bankrupt. And so we couldn't prepare for that. And so we were just thankful every day that what God provided for us, and we just focused really on what we did have, and that we've kept thinking it could be so much worse. We're so thankful for what we do have, and that's the message that we sent to our kids, and I think that was very, very helpful for them.
And absolutely, and gratitude is everything. When you're grateful that you have paid the rent and you've got your home for another month. I know that's step by step, but give thanks and give thanks to God daily. Thank Him in advance, because He is going to be blessing you with some things that you don't even know that's coming. And I of course always rely on God.
Yes.
And I do know there have been times that I've just trusted God to handle a situation, and somehow it gets handled. So don't ever hesitate to go to prayer. And again, share with your kids, don't drag them into the specifics, but just make it a positive thing so that you all can grow together. And Jeannene, I want to thank you so much. You gave such great advice. Remember, the Smile group is open to ask questions. You can just post a question there, and Jeannene, as a member, she'll come on and help you and answer that. Or if you want to message her privately, you can do that too. But just know that the Smile group, which stands for Single Moms and Loving Empowerment, is here for you. We want you to use our resources to have a better life, or to help you get through the speed bumps. So until next time, have a wonderful week.